I'd like to speak briefly now about our schools, the schools in Charlottesville. What I'm going to propose as this unfolds is basically that we follow what the school board is now has suggested for our city in terms of both facilities and ongoing operational changes. So, just a couple of things. Public education is really one of the most important things that a local government does. One of the most important functions, taking care of our kids, taking care of our little ones, taking care of our youth. This is absolutely essential. It's a core function. Now, no one expects the schools to do everything. Obviously, ultimately, parents and family have a huge role to play, but schools can and should do as much as possible. And in fact, we in Charlottesville wanted to do as much as possible. Um, of course, a New York Times article from last fall pointed out long-standing issues with disparities in educational outcomes between white and African American students. That's been very much in the news. There's a lot of responses and work that's going on now to try to figure out how to do better. Um, and that's absolutely critical. What I would like to also focus on as well is just this need to invest in our facilities. If you've not had a chance to walk around some of our schools, I think you should. They're basically good shape. They've got good strong bones, but they're old and they're set up for earlier models of education. The school board has proposed, and you can go on their website and see this. They've got a very detailed proposal, and they propose this for a number of years of basically combining the middle school grades, renovating Buford for 6th, 7th, and 8th, having the 5th graders go back out to elementary schools, turning Walker into a pre-K campus with wraparound services. I think that makes tons of sense. Now, this is a heavy lift. This would be like a $60 to $80 million investment. But the thing about it is that surrounding jurisdictions have invested $500 million, so $500 million in their school systems in the last decade. And Charlottesville, to my knowledge at least, hasn't done a significant renovation or building since CHS. So it's really overdue. The other thing about this program in terms of equity is it would give every student, no matter where they are in the city, an opportunity to be in a world-class school building. And would also minimize the number of transitions that occurred during the middle school years, which would make a big difference. Operationally speaking, in terms of how teaching happens every day, um, obviously having smaller class sizes, paying teachers more, recognizing the impact of the affordable housing crisis on all public servants, all of that is part of the mix. And again, the school board lays that out on the website. And then again, the things that I mentioned earlier and that have been in the news much lately, boosting AVID, reworking our gifted program. A suggestion I heard recently was to have a program to help in, instructional assistants be able to work their way or go to school to support them to become teachers. Many of those folks are people of color, persons of color, African Americans, and really anything we can do to help build, particularly in the very early years, helping our children, the children that need help catching up in literacy rates. Anything we can do to support that through extra tutoring. So those are just some thoughts on schools. Obviously, the school board sets policy in this area, but city council, I think, should be an advocate for the school board. It should be an advocate for the school, what the things the school board says it needs. Thanks for listening.